there may be no domestic football going on right now, but there is some European football on, and unfortunately all English teams are out at the moment, so there's not really much of us to look forward to over here in England. But this is a good time, in my opinion, to look back at some of the classic finals ahead of Bayern Munich versus PSG this weekend. So let's get right into it. Number 10, 1958, Real Madrid 3, Milan 2. If Real Madrid hadn't yet taken on an invincible air before their third European Cup final win, they certainly had after it. The game was notable from a fantastic flurry of goals in the second half. Juan something put AC Milan in front before Alfred Di Stefano and Hector Real scored for Real, but their lead lasted for 3 minutes before Inter pulled it back to go into extra time. It was left to the great Francesco Gento to settle things, scoring a low shot to give Real Madrid the win. Number 9, Manchester United 2, Bayern Munich 1, 1999. If we're honest about it, this was a poor match for 89 minutes. Bayern took the leads after 6 minutes through Mario Basler and should have added to it. In the second half, Mehmet's goal chipped onto one from the post. Carsten Jankner hammered an overhead kick into the bar. United were barely sentient beings, shambling around the Camp Nou pitch, and it wasn't much of a contest. Then in the closing stages, they woke up. Teddy Sheringham equalised in the first minutes of extra time before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won it in the third, and Man United won the famous treble in the most dramatic circumstances. Number 8, Liverpool 3, Borussia Mönchengladbach 1, 1977. The start of nearly a decade of English dominance. This was the game when Liverpool truly established themselves as a force. I think on the night we not so much became a European side, but we played like a European side, Tommy Smith said. Terry McDermott gave Liverpool the lead, only for Alan Simonson to equalise, but just after the break, Smith headed home with 8 minutes to go, and Phil Neal sealed it with a penalty. Number 7, 1968, Manchester United 4, Benfica 1. A decade on from the Munich air disaster, this was the culmination of extraordinary work from Sir Matt Busby to rebuild his team. It was a fairly rough affair, with the Benfica players seemingly targeting star winger George Best, and things were pretty tense until Bobby Charlton scored after 53 minutes. But then Jamie Garcia equalised, and it was only the efforts of Alex Stepney in the United goal that got them into extra time. But just as momentum had swung in normal times, it did again in the additional 30 minutes. Best and Brian Kidd scored twice in 3 minutes before Charlton stepped home to seal it. 6, Benfica 5, Real Madrid 3, 1962. Normal service seemed to have resumed when Real reached the final of the 1962 European Cup, having won the first 5 before being knocked out by Barcelona in 1961. But in many respects, this represented the changing of the guards, as some old Real greats like Di Stefano and Puskas had gone past their peaks, whereas Benfica were coming into their prominence. Puskas scored a first half hat-trick, but Benfica stormed back after the break. A quick Eusebio Racing victory, although it be their most recent. Manager Bela Gutmann informally declared that they would never win the trophy again after leaving the club following a pay dispute, and he was right. Number 5, Barcelona 3, Manchester United 1, 2011. There are many aspects of what makes a great final, and the 2011 edition wasn't a great contest in terms of two teams fighting it out, but this was the final to be remembered because it was an exhibition of glorious football, arguably the peak of the greatest club side of the past 25 years. Barcelona took Manchester United apart with goals from Pedro, Messi and David Villa. Nobody's given us a hiding like that, said Alex Ferguson, and that just about summed it up. Number 4, Real Madrid 4, Atletico Madrid 1, 2014. If there was ever a scoreline that didn't reflect the game as a whole, it was this one. Things had been pretty much even for most of the game. Atletico took the lead in the 36th minute and held the lead until the 93rd. Then 3 minutes into added time, centre-back Sergio Ramos, as if playing the role of the cartoon villain, then revealed himself to equalise. Real then took over in extra time with goals from Gareth Bale, Marcelo and Cristiano Ronaldo, making it look like a hammering. Number 3, 1994, Milan 4, Barcelona 0. It's hard to overstate how much Barcelona were the favourites ahead of this final. There was Johan Cruyff's dream team reaching something close to their peak against Fabio Capello's Milan, who were without the injured Marco van Basten and Juan Luigi Lentini. The suspended Franco Besti and Estelle Kralander, if I can say it right, plus the 3 foreigners rule meant Capello was forced to leave French striker Jean-Pierre Papin and Denmark winger Brian Laudrup. And yet the final was demolition. No wonder the workman like Daniel Massaro bagging a couple of goals before half time and to give them the win. Number 2, Real Madrid 7, Eintracht Frankfurt 3, 1960. The 127,621 attendance at Hampden Park is still a record for a European final and will likely remain that way. Real Madrid were invincible in the early years of the European Cup and truly showed it here, destroying a very accomplished side with some of the most extraordinary attacking play seen ever. The German took an early lead. It was like Frankfurt had provoked us, said Real Madrid after the game, but Di Stefano got 3, Puskas scored 4, and Real Madrid lifted the trophy. And number 1, of course it is, Liverpool 3, Milan 3, 2005. Milan were extraordinary in the first half. Liverpool could count themselves lucky to only be 3-0 down after Pablo Maldini scored in the first minute and Crespo picked up 2 more. After Dieter Hamann came on in half-time, they drew level through Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso, among others, then sat up another hour of broiling tension. Milan, the superior side in virtually every aspect, had only themselves to blame for not killing off the game, and ultimately it cost them. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily football news. Subscribe to my other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!